Stranger Things, Stranger Things, Stranger Things. Where has thou be, Stranger Things? Nah, but seriously, it's been a long time since the last season of Stranger Things, and season 5 has finally released the first 4 episodes, and I'm going to kind of talk initially just about general kind of enjoyment and then get into a wee bit more spoileries towards the end. Um, my biggest concern is what I referred to in the beginning. It has been so long since the first Stranger Things. That's the last season of Stranger Things. 3 years. And I just didn't have that buzz for it coming back to the point where the only thing I really done to kind of remind myself was to watch the recap on Netflix, which was like 4 minutes, which just cannot in any way get you up to speed with what was going on. Obviously, I can remember some things from it, but there was just a lot that I was like, oh, did that happen? Like, what's going on here? You know, how did these characters kind of go off? Sorry, just turning off my laptop or stopping it making a sound. Um, so yeah, I went into it a little bit underprepared, and you could argue that's on me, but you know, in this day and age, it is hard to find the time to. I mean, I could have watched like a YouTube recap, which was like 20 minutes, but I guess my point is, I wasn't excited for it the way I'd been for maybe like a Game of Thrones, and that is due to the time in between. And potentially not their fault, you know, people might have been like production stuff might have been delayed by certain things, but it definitely has made a difference to kind of going into this and me not really having the hunger to go out and seek, kind of remind myself of the previous seasons. And yeah, it does kind of affect it because you're like thinking back and you're trying to remember, but overall, the first 4 episodes, quite underwhelming in a sense. Definitely ends on a bit of a high note, but uh, when I get into the spoilers, yeah, there's just some things that I would like to have seen happen by now that haven't happened. I think the sets and the actual production of it is really good, really high quality. Apart from the CGI with the Demogorgons, especially the, well, spoilers, but the big group one in episode 4, it just looked very very video gamey, like in the way that I think they done some of the CGI in this season really well with the individual kind of Demogorgons, but yeah, when there's multiple on them and it's the big battle, it didn't look great. Did not look great. Just some character kind of traits and dynamics that I'm not really enjoying at the moment. Some of the acting, it has to be said, has been a bit underwhelming and kind of takes me out of the actual experience. Um, I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't think it's lived up to what this was kind of being built up to. I think they will have. I think there's 5 episodes left. I think they'll have a tough time kind of getting me back. But that being said, like Stranger Things has never been like one of my favorite shows ever. Like I think it's been a very well made show. I've enjoyed it, um, but it's never been like a Game of Thrones for me where I've like been dying to kind of go back in and rewatch it or learn more about it. It's just been a solid TV show with some really interesting concepts that I have enjoyed watching. We're going into some spoilers, so if you don't want to see that, if you're not finished the 4 episodes, go watch them. I'm going to try and recap it as best as I can and just kind of talk through kind of the main points. So basically, everybody's living under military rule at the moment. And let's just get this off the bat. The military suck. Not in terms of the bad guys, they just suck as bad guys. In terms of We don't really know what their purpose is. They're being assholes to people for no good reason, and they're just very stupid as well. Like, how many times have they faced the monsters in this show, and the weapons they're using have been ineffective? Yet, in one of the episodes in the season, they show that they know what affects the monsters, which is heat, and yet they only have two flamethrowers that come into play. Now, I'm not saying flamethrowers were prevalent, or could be prevalent, but you would think that they would have a bit more nous at this point, like a bit more kind of strategy to defeat the monsters of the Upside Down, like they do with the tactics that they've got against 11, which we'll come into it. So basically, first episode's kind of catching us up, seeing where everybody is. I'm not going to go through every little detail because there's a lot, but I think Robin is one of the best characters in the show. She's just very charismatic, quite funny, kind of drives the show. I think Steve and Dustin's relationship is quite poor. I think they'll have a big kind of reunion down the line, but it's quite annoying at the minute. They're really at each other's throats, which is, they were always kind of had that, but it was more funny. But this just feels like a bit much. Jonathan is just a shell of himself. Like, Jonathan was always kind of one of my favourite characters, just because he was, a bit of a loser who kind of rose up to be a bit of a hero. But now he just feels like a loser again. Like, he just feels like an absolute, like he's going against good plans which work, and then he's not giving them credit. It's very, I don't like what they've done with him. Any other characters really stand out as being annoying or that? Joyce, she's been quite overprotective of Will, as she's been every other season, but I thought we had kind of a character arc there where she was like, no, you need to kind of do your own thing. But as we will see, Will does his own thing, and it kind of works out. And my biggest problem with the acting, which I alluded to, was Will's actor is not a good actor. All of the other kids, not kids anymore, I think that we'll get onto that as well, but all of the other actors in this show come across really well. I think for the most part that acting is good, sometimes veering into the very good, but my God, whenever Will is on screen, it is so robotic, so painfully delivered. Oh no, there's a Demogorgon or something along. I can't remember an actual line read, but it's like that. It's like so basic, and so it just takes me out of the experience the whole time. Anyway, so basically they're doing raids because the military have got a base in there. They're looking for Vecna. Hop goes into the Upside Down through this convoy that gets sent in to provide aid to the base in the Upside Down. It gets attacked, and how does 11 gets in there somehow, and I can't remember, to be honest. But they basically manage to, there's a giant wall around the Upside Down that they're in, and basically they go, I'm going to focus on the Hop and 11 storyline. Basically they have these kind of like sound turrets that eliminate Elle's powers, and she's basically incapacitated, so Hop has to do something. They go to the military base, they confront the big bad, who's the scientist, doctor woman, who's, again, very underwritten, don't know her plans, obviously world domination or some crap to control Elle, but just, no real plot there. They're setting up that Hop's going to die, and this is my biggest complaint, actually, well, one of my biggest complaints is that no one's died yet. Like, I feel like I was spoiled from Game of Thrones, but I just feel like there's a lot of plot armor going on at the minute, but they are setting up that Hop's going to die. He's saying how proud he is of Elle, so that's going to happen. I thought it should happen that episode, but it didn't. So they break into the facility and they find it's 12, so 11, and then 12 from that side arc in like season 3, where 11 ran away and met up with these people, and so basically it was her, and they rescued her. Back in the real world, we'll focus on Will. He's having more links with the Demogorgon. They can see through their eyes. And we know, like, it was so obvious he was going to control them or have some sort of power over them, to the point of it was just so poorly written, like, showing through the eyes, but it showed the Demogorgon not attacking as well, and you go, oh, but then it literally almost spells out for you, maybe you were controlling it. You're like, come on, give us some credit for working this out. But basically, they figure out that Vecna is abducting kids. Abducted Mike's sister, Holly, who is another. Oh my God, that whole thing is the whole thing. I can't believe I started talking about this, because I should have just given my thoughts and went on, but no, we're in it now. So basically, realise that Vecna is abducting kids, and they get all the kids who have been talking to this imaginary friend to come with them. They get trapped. Vecna attacks, and let me say, big ups to the new suit. Doesn't look like the Grinch anymore. The last one, he looked a lot like the Grinch. This one, not so much. He basically comes in, doesn't kill anyone again. I get that he doesn't kill Will, because he might need him, but yeah, just like I don't feel like anyone's in any danger at this point. Like, they're all just get plot armor. And this is where Will has his big moment where he takes control of the Demogorgons, where we're just about to kill people, and kills them, basically the way Vecna did. Like, they lift up in the air and all their bones snap. Pretty cool scene, not gonna lie. And he wipes his nose because he's got the blood. And yeah, it's a pretty good way to end what was a very janky battle scene, like I said, with the CGI, just kind of took you out of it. Like, it was very obviously CGI, very poorly done. Vecna looked cool. Still don't know what he actually wants with these kids. They're kind of in the upside down. Holly is in Vecna's mind, we think, or in upside down, but a version of it that he's created, where she meets Max. Max has been living there. She's still in a coma, and they kind of go through and talk about what's been going on, and how Vecna doesn't like to go where Max is, so maybe he's got some bad memories in there. But yeah, it's I am intrigued to see where it goes, and I'm glad they're ending it, because it's just been too long. I feel like there's too many characters, there's too many stories at this point, where I think they just need to wrap it up, and hopefully in a nice, neat bow. But I don't see how they can do it to any satisfying conclusion. Obviously, Vecna's going to die. If I had to put my money on it, Hop's going to die. Max is going to survive. I think Dustin kind of has a death wish this season, so maybe him. Do I think Will? I think Will will sacrifice himself. I won't feel anything for that, which is quite sad to say. But yeah. 11. No, I think if Hop dies, 11 will survive. Maybe 11 dies and Hop survives. I don't know. If I had to put my money on it, I'm going Hop. And if one of the kids, it's got to be Will. And Murray. I'd be sad to see Murray go, actually. He's a good character. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Who do you think is going to die in Stranger Things? Let's have that discussion down in the comments below. But no, seriously, what are your thoughts on Stranger Things Are you in the same boat as me? You find it a wee bit underwhelming? It's been a while since it's been on. You've kind of forgotten, or are you right into it? Is this like, yeah, it's feeling good? It's kind of warming up nicely. Um, Let me know down in the comments below. Let's have a chat about it. Subscribe to the channel if you've made it this far. Helps me grow. Like the video, share it, do whatever you want. And with all that said, all said to say, any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.